Episode 217. Today we highlight our weekend on the Clemente Bridge to celebrate the life of Roberto Clemente and the Clemente Museum. We recap the Washington Nationals series and preview the upcoming series versus the Chicago Cubs. You're listening to the Bucko Banter Podcast, brought to you by the Just Baseball Media Network. Cue the music.
Rockin' 101, she compliment my taste. Whiskey in my lemonade, cause I like the way it tastes. Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates. Order steak by the plate, send in case after case. Run my race at my pace, clear the grass of the snake.
Adam, welcome back to another episode of Bucko Banter, 217 to be exact. Not a great weekend of baseball. Lost all but one game south of the Mason-Dixon line. But we had a phenomenal weekend on the Clemente Bridge, which I want to talk about first because it was a really good time. There was a fundraiser for the Clemente Museum. We know Roberto Clemente Day is tomorrow. We'll be at the game against the Cubs. But a lot of big names showed up to the fundraiser for the museum. Shout out to Wayne Reeder, who put on the event, who wanted us to be involved. He had us out, and we got to interview people, ask them what Roberto Clemente meant to them, and just be a part of the event was, to me, very, very special.
It had a really close-knit community feel to it, right? It wasn't just kind of something where it's like, hey, we're going to go to this. Everybody went with a purpose. That was to celebrate Roberto Clemente, and all of the vendors were great. The artists were great. The music was great. The people were great. And it was just an overall really, really fun experience. It went from 3 to 7, man. I could have stayed there all night hanging out on the bridge. It truly was incredible. We talked to a lot of great people. Stephen Brault was there the entire time. What a guy. 10 out of 10 human being. We talked Pirates with him. We talked to him about what Roberto Clemente has meant to him throughout his career and his life. And many others, Scott. I mean,
Carlos Baerga was there. This is a legend, a Puerto Rican legend. I saw him. I was like, Adam, I'm like 100% sure that's Carlos Baerga. And we had Luis Clemente there, the son of Roberto. We had some other big names, like you said. Stephen Brault was there, and a lot of local vendors. We had Dia Noyes. We had, we had Hitchhiker Brewing. We had some live Puerto Rican music, which was phenomenal. The Clemente Museum Winery, Engine, I think it's 45 wines. I could have that wrong. Engine House. But some of the best wine made in the city of Pittsburgh. I mean, it's phenomenal. Dwayne does a really good job with that. But awesome event, man. I'm really excited to be a part of that weekend for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, we got tomorrow too. So I'm excited for that. There was a lot of people that came from Puerto Rico that live in Puerto Rico right now just
that
to
was
be
cool
here for the week. And they were all about it, man, just to see like how excited people still get over the legacy of Roberto Clemente is truly special. But as you mentioned before that, wasn't so great in our nation's capital. They lost 2 of 3. Some decent highlights
Baltimore?
from the week. Oh, don't worry about that one.
Our nation's capital. No, I'm kidding.
Hey,
go ahead.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about the Baltimore series. We already recapped. You can go check that one out with Daniel Rotter from Just Baseball. But they were in DC.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've heard Scott and I talk about Nationals Park on this podcast before, what a terrible place. Awful place just to
We
go.
actually we had a bad experience.
Awful. Like a 0 out of 10 experience at Nationals Park. Bad venue. Just like such a bleh venue for like all the history that you have in DC and what you could have done with a fairly new ballpark. Just real run of the mill. Just like roller coaster tycoon ballpark, kind of just like plopped in there. Like nothing special about it. That being said, the Pirates did not play well. Okay. And what we mentioned in the Baltimore series and what we mentioned and how they played now, it's kind of just highlighting everything we've been talking about for the entire year, right? Very little slugging. When they hit, it's singles, defensive miscues, and good pitching. That's pretty much since the Dodgers series. You mentioned like we might have sold our soul to the devil when LA came to town. It just all kind of, it's like take a step back and look at this in a bigger picture. We're still a little bit of ways, and we still have to focus on what's actually going to help this team. And it's guys that are playing in position that are going to be here for multiple years, and that can be a consistent piece in a lineup moving forward. And it's just right now, it's too many moving pieces going around. It's the G1 Bays of the world. Henry Davis cannot figure it out. It's a lot of what we're already used to.
With a dozen games left, Adam, they can win a max 77. So getting back to the last 2 years total of 76 wins seems very unlikely. 71 that I predicted last episode even seems unlikely. Like, I just at the rate that they're playing right now, you got the Cubs, you got the A's at home, and then you go, where's this? To Cincinnati and Atlanta. So I'm looking at my calendar that's posted above my desk here. I mean, those shouldn't be awfully hard series, but like, I don't expect them to sweep any of these series. I don't expect them to win all but one game in these next 4 series. So I'm just excited to make the most out of the last week at PNC Park for the 2025 season. It's going to be a big off season, like we said last year. Turn back the clocks. But Adam, let's just get into these games real quick. Let's get into these games. You have anything to say before I get into the headlines?
Real quick. Well, I was just going to go through the headlines.
Yeah,
as well. Cam Sanders was recalled. Justin Lawrence was activated from his rehab assignment. Good to see him back. Johan Ramirez to the paternity list. Colin Holderman was optioned back. And I wanted to focus on this one because we had some discussions about Colin Holderman on the bridge with Stephen Brault, who follows the team very closely. And just like, kind of like, we're like, man, like what happened to Colin Holderman? And, we were just talking about like what he has been in the future, like in the past, and why he can't do that now. And it's really just, it's mental, right? At this point, it's very just like you had it and you don't have it. And it's not because the stuff isn't there. It's just, you're trying to make too much happen. And it was brought to our attention to look at his stats when he is ahead in the count 0-2. Now, I don't know if you went in on Baseball Reference and looked at it or on Fangraphs, but I did the research for us. Scott, opponents have a 300 batting average.
This is what Brault brought up to us last night.
Right.
Yeah.
A 300 batting average, but I wanted to look into it further, just like a little bit further. I didn't want to dive into it too much because it was going to make me sad. 467 slug, 0-2. Right. And what is he good? He has a decent fastball and a really good slider. But when you're throwing that slider center cut, 0-2, and you're trying to make that your put away pitch and you're missing consistently and you're just trying to throw it for a strike, it's not going to work, right? You're not throwing it 96 miles per hour. It's a little bit more sweepy nowadays. So you texted me, is Colin Holderman done? Like, is this it? Is this the last of it? And I would say yes. Like
with the Pirates, at least.
With the Pirates, how many chances can you get, man? Like, you saw David Bednar bounce back after a really bad year and like a really bad start to 2025. But this is a little bit different, right? It's a little bit different.
So.
Yeah, it's you're not talking about a guy who was a staple as a closer, was an all-star. You could have made an argument that he should have been an all-star going into the break last year, but since then, it just really has not clicked. And then Jack Sawinski sent to AAA for a rehab assignment. I don't know if we'll see him again this year. Probably. We'll probably see a couple more Jack Sawinski at bats. Before we get into the games, Scott, Total Sports Enterprises is your place for all your Pittsburgh sports memorabilia needs. Pirates, Penguins, Steelers, much, much more. The Steelers lost to the Seahawks today. What a terrible game that was. But guess what? I'm sure you can go get that DK Metcalf signed jersey. Aaron Rodgers signed jersey, whatever your heart desires. Go get all your Pirates memorabilia before the season ends. Put it in your living room, your office, wherever your heart desires. I don't care. Go buy it. It's good stuff, right? Everything we hand out at the games is all from Total Sports Enterprises. Go to tseshop.com. Go in the link below to let them know Bucko Banter sent you. Scott, why don't you get us kicked off with Friday's game versus the Nationals?
Friday, Mitch Keller threw against the Nationals in our nation's capital. Mitch Keller went 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 1 walk, 4 Ks. Good outing for Mitch, 4-13 ERA, 6 whiffs. Evan Sisk went 2/3 of an inning, no hits, 1 walk, 1 K. Kyle Nicholas got the loss and the blown save. 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 4 earned, 1 walk. Dari Moreta went 1 1/3, 1 hit, 1 K to finish it off. Spencer Horwitz, 2 for 9 with his 9th homer of the year, 2 RBIs. Jared Triolo, 2 for 5 with a double in that leadoff spot. Mickey G went 2 for 4 with a double. 10 hits total, 4 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 5 left on base, 9 Ks. Final score 6-5 Natties.
O'Neal Cruz made a fielding error as well. And we've mentioned it before, man. The routes just have not looked good. It's like regressed again out there. It's just been a season of ups and downs. And lately, a lot of downs for O'Neal Cruz. Saturday, though, Bubba Chandler bounced back from the bad outing he had last week. 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 7 Ks, 18 whiffs. Scott, the four seam was working extremely well at the top of the zone. Before, we were talking about him maybe throwing too many strikes and just trying to be a little bit too much. He really let it rip here. You're talking 101 four seam up and in, like untouchable stuff. 81 pitches, 56 strikes. Carmen came in, 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 Ks. Dennis Santana, 1 inning, 1 walk. Triolo hit a home run. It's the only slug of the game as a team. 7 Ks, 6 walks, 7 hits, 3 for 10 runners in scoring position, 9 left on base.
And then we got Sunday, tonight's game, or today's game. Mike Burrows went 4 1/3, 5 hits, 3 earned, 1 walk, 6 Ks. Even though he gave up 3 earned, has a 4.10 ERA and 13 whiffs. Pretty good for a short outing from Mike Burrows in the swing and miss department. Evan Sisk went 2/3 of an inning, no hits, 2 Ks. That low slot lefty comes in a short-term role, gets a couple outs via the strikeout, has a 3.52 ERA. Justin Lawrence, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 walk, 1 K. He's got a 0.73 ERA on the year. We got Isaac Mattson, who earned the loss, 2 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned, 1 walk, 1 K. Nicky G went 1 for 4 with a triple, 2 RBIs. And then O'Neal Cruz, 2 for 3, a double, his 38th stolen bag on the year. He could be a 30-30 guy, but lacking on the contact department, which is limiting his home runs at this juncture of the season. 5 hits total, 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position, 9 left on base, 9 Ks. That's it for today's game, Adam.
Just bleh. Mike Burrows, I thought, looked good for the most part. I think, I don't know if we mentioned it before, like Mitch Keller was very efficient on Friday, right? 5 1/3. I think he had 62 pitches before he was pulled. And that was kind of a point of like, maybe it was a feel thing for Don Kelly going out there, because the same thing, Burrows didn't throw many pitches today. I think he was around 60 as well. So going to the bullpen, using the arms, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the only one I really can see that I was like kind of a little bit of a head scratcher, 62 pitches for Mitch Keller. Like, he's your guy who's just going to give you innings. I know it's late in the year and doesn't really matter as much anymore, but didn't really understand that one. I don't know if you have any feelings on that at all, but I'd like to see him go at least 80.
Yeah, absolutely. I think at this point in the season, why are we limiting pitches there?
It's not like a Paul Skeens situation last year where you're trying to like cut him short or put him on an innings limit. That's your workhorse. So
absolutely.
Let's take a break here, and then we'll get into the preview versus the Cubs. Scott, we are back. We have the Cubs at home for the last week of home games at PNC Park. One thing you can find at PNC Park when Bucko Banter is out and about is us handing out sports cards from Sports Card Junction, 9011 Perry Highway, the best sports card hobby spot in all of the Berg. I'll say it, maybe in the entire country, just how comfortable you feel going in there. It's an experience, man. Go over there. You can go find them on eBay. You can find them online, sportscardjunction.com. But I recommend go there, get your baseball, football, basketball, hockey, Pokemon, whatever your heart desires. They have you covered. Again, that's Sports Card Junction. You can go to sportscardjunction.com or go to 9011 Perry Highway. Scott, the Cubs this year, 84-64. They're second in the NL Central, first in the NL Wild Card spot. I'll get us kicked off with Monday. You're going to see a familiar face with right-handed pitcher Jamison Taillon versus Braxton Ashcraft. This year, Taillon is 9-6 with a 4.15 ERA and 110 2/3 innings pitched. 20 games, 83 Ks with a 1-1-1 whip. This year in June versus the Buccos, he went 6 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 7 Ks, and a 3-2 Chicago win. The Arsenal, as you're well aware, is a four-seam sweeper, curve, cutter, change, sinker. He throws it all. All right, you're going to get everything here. Durable innings eating profile when healthy, multiple average pitches. Curveball is the standout one here in the Arsenal. The fastball is more solid than overpowering, so mistakes can be punished, but he's pitched well against the Pirates in recent memory. It's one of those guys where you go out there and he's not going to overpower you, but you're just kind of like, why can't we get to him? And that's going to happen for 5-6 innings almost every single time with Jameson Taillon.
Yeah, absolutely. That's been his later career arc, right? He's been more of a pitchability guy and guy that's going to pitch to contact. So we typically have trouble with these type of guys. Like you said, he had 7 Ks on June 12th. So that brings us into Tuesday. This matchup I'm really excited for. We got Cade Horton versus Paul Skeens, two of the more exciting young arms, not just in the NL Central, but in the National League altogether. Cade Horton's had a great rookie season. 10-4 with a 2.70 ERA, 110 innings pitched, 21 games, 89 Ks, and a 111 whip. On the 13th of June, he went 5 2/3 against the Pirates, 3 hits, no earned, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 2-1 Pirates win. He throws a four-seam 50% of the time, sits 95 to 96. The sweeper, 21% of the times. It's also known as a slider. More people refer to it as that. He goes to that 21% of the time. Change 13%, curve and sinker round out Arsenal. This is a guy who has frontline caliber slider that misses bats at all levels. Fastball velocity and shape pair perfectly with the slider, and he's a big game performer with a strong competitive edge, i.e. the College World Series in 2022 when he was pitching for University of Oklahoma. This is where he really broke out and became a first-round pick off of that fastball slider combination. So this should be a fun matchup between him and Paul Skeens on Tuesday here at PNC Park.
And then Wednesday, left-handed pitcher Matthew Boyd versus Johan Oviedo. This year, Boyd, a 13-8 with a 3.05 ERA and 171 1/3 innings pitched, 29 games, 146 Ks with a 107 whip. This year versus the Buccos in 2 games, he went 11 innings, 7 hits, 3 earned, 9 Ks. You get the four-seam change, slider, curve, sinker, goes to the four-seam 46% of the time. His release point and arm slot, low 3/4, gives his fastball a unique look. It helps his fastball play up relative to its velocity, especially when elevated. While his pitch mix works, he doesn't throw 100-mile-per-hour heat. None of his pitches are considered dominant in terms of raw stuff. It's more about deception, movement, and command. We'll see what happens.
It's the guy we struggle with.
Yeah, I always like when the Cubs come to town. I like the NL Central matchups. I mean, the Brewers, it's always hell, but the Cubs are always interesting. You could always bet for Ian Happ to do something against the Pirates almost every single time. But let's finish strong here. I'm excited, man. It's been a long year, and we've been at the park 60-plus games covering just about everything that we can. So we got 6 games left at PNC Park. Let's make the most out of it. Let's enjoy baseball while we can in 2025. I know there's been a lot of downs, a lot, significant amount of negative stuff when it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates. But at the end of the day, it's Major League Baseball, and it's our Pittsburgh Pirates. So let's go out there and just try and enjoy this going into 2026, and then we'll be able to get into the offseason stuff, as we've been mentioning, and drink that hopium. But Scott, before we get out of here, we got the players of the week, right? I'll get us kicked off with the hitter of the week. And before we got on today's recording, I was telling you, man, like Spencer Horwitz's stats, like for all the stuff people give, and like it could be a platoon bat, like he looks pretty good, man. Like I'm happy to have Horwitz here. He's a good locker room, good clubhouse presence, very good guy. He plays a solid first base. This week hit 294, 368 on base percentage, 706 slug with a 1074 OPS, 2 home runs, 3 RBIs with a double, 5 hits, 3 runs in 17 at bats, 19 plate appearances. Scott, I think the pitcher of the week is obvious. Why don't you run us through that one?
Yeah, the pitcher of the week is, well, I don't know about obvious, sort of obvious. Bubba Chandler. Let's go with him. A big bounce back outing for him. Second start as a major leaguer, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned, 7 Ks. He generated 18 whiffs in this start against the Nationals. Looked very impressive. This came the night before his birthday. I believe he turned 22. I could be wrong there, maybe a year off. But anyways, Bubba Chandler, big outing for him. That's definitely something that you want to see. Definitely was not worried about that Milwaukee series. These guys are, especially young guys that come up and debut in the rotation, are bound to have outings like that, especially against a team that just like doesn't make mistakes. Like that was a tough team to make your first start against. So I'm excited to see him this week. I'm assuming he's going to be making a start against the A's, maybe Friday. He might be the Friday starter. So excited for that. And, shout out to Bubba Chandler for being the first time pitcher of the week for Bucko Banner.
If you don't already, make sure you go to YouTube, subscribe, like, leave a comment, tell a friend to tell a friend. If you're listening, leave a 5-star review, download the episodes. That means a ton. Go to buckobanter.com for all of your merch. Some announcements coming soon. And if you're listening and you're interested in contributing to Bucko Banter, we put out a post on Twitter and on Instagram. We're looking for help, right? If you love the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think that's a big one. If you're a baseball fan, you're familiar with the team, you like to flex your baseball knowledge, we could potentially use your help in helping this thing grow. We're looking for people that have maybe some experience when it comes to social media, clipping podcasts, making highlight tapes, graphic design, just good ideas, right? Like that's all we're asking for. And if you'd like our content and you potentially want to join us as we grow this going into next year and future years and try and make this thing huge, we'd like to hear from you. So shoot us a DM on Instagram or on X or Twitter. You could send us an email at buckobanter@gmail.com. Just give us a little bit of an introduction and, potentially we could set you up with an interview. But we are conducting interviews right now, Scott, and we're really excited about that. So again, hit us up via DM or buckobanter@gmail.com. Make sure you go follow on all social media at Bucko Banter. Share the post. That helps a ton with engagement. And until next time, raise it.
Raise it.
Best seats at the Pirates game, they let me run the base. Yeah, my time is like my money, cause I can't afford to waste. Wifey is a lawyer, take my date to my dates or the steak by the